Hello boys and girls, and welcome to NTI Day 11. So this video is going to go over the announcement that I posted on Google Classroom this morning and what your assignments are going to look like. So the announcement this morning kind of gave you a rundown of what your assignments are going to be. So first off, your assignments are going to be on Learning Odyssey. To find those assignments, you should be able just to log in, go to Path, Pleasure, Math, and the assignments are going to say something along the lines of NTI Day, whatever day it is, and the subject that they cover. So today's assignment is NTI Day 11, and it's partial products. All right? If for some reason you cannot get into Learning Odyssey, I have posted login directions on both the assignment and the announcement. If you still have trouble getting in, please email or message Miss Bagley or I. One of us should be able to help you get in. All right. I've also decided I'm going to post some short little videos every day. These videos are meant to help you. Some of the stuff that we're going to be learning or that your assignments is over is new stuff. I want to make sure that you understand it. So I'm going to do the video. You'll see your videos on Learning Odyssey as well. After your Learning Odyssey assignment is completed, I've also asked that you go to Prodigy and play for about 30 minutes. Prodigy is another one of those sources that I can use to make sure that you're understanding what we're learning. All right? The whole purpose of these videos is so I can give you kind of a short note version of what you're learning. All right? So what you're learning today for your lesson, as I've already said, is NTI Day 11, partial products. We are familiar with partial products. We've done it in class, but I've noticed that some of us still struggle with it. So I thought just to start off, it would be good if we reviewed it. All right, some things I want to show you first. We've talked about this. Give it just a second to focus, guys. All right, so with what we are learning, we know that a factor times a factor is equal to a product. And that's in any multiplication sentence. So if you look at this example of 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 and 4 are your factors. 8 is your product. All right? Now, if you come down here and you look at our 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication sentence, but 24 and 3 are still your factors because you are multiplying them. And your product is down here. Now, if you notice down here in your product, I have the letter X. In this case, if you remember, X is a variable. Variable means unknown. So in this case, if you look back at that problem, we don't know what our product is. It is unknown. So that's why we have the variable X. That's just a little review. All right? So I want to work on partial products in this first problem here. The first problem is 24 times 3. All right? So if you remember with partial products, it's taking apart each of those and it's giving you a product for each little section that you multiply. So in this first section, I'm going to take our 3 and I'm going to multiply it by the 4 and I'm going to get 12. All right, another way to think about that is doing 3 times the 4 ones. All right. So I've got 12 here. Now, since I'm done with the 4, I can move on to the 3. Or the 2. So next I'm going to do 3 times 2. But if you remember in class, it's not just 2, right? Exactly, because this 2 is in the tens place. So if I have 2 tens, that number in standard form is 20. So 3 times 2 tens is 60. When I add those together, I should get, 2 plus 0 equals 2. 1 plus 6 equals 7. That means the product of 24 times 3 should be 72. All right, let's look at another one. If I'm doing this one, I'm once again going to start with my ones. So 4 times 6 ones gives me 24. So 4 times those 6 ones gives me that 24. All right. The next thing I want to look at is once again that tens place. 4 times 3 tens gives you what? Think about it for a second. I know that 4 times 3 is 12, but I'm doing tens. Tens has a 0 on the end, so all I have to do is add that 0 onto my 12. when you're adding these partial products, you need to make sure that your place values line up. So my 1s should be in line, my 10s should be in line, and my 100s should be in line. Once I've done everything I can do multiplication-wise, I'm just going to add those together. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 1 plus 0, because there's no hundreds up here, is 1. Which means that the product of 36 times 4 is 144. All right, let's flip it over for a second. We're going to do now 59 times 4, okay? If you notice, these problems are getting a little bit harder because those multiplication problems are a little bit harder. So the first thing we're going to look at again is the 4 times our 9 ones, all right? And I'm writing them off to the side. You don't have to when you do it. And I said 4 10s. Ignore what I wrote. It should be 4 times 9 ones. All right, if you see what I wrote. So 4 times 9 ones. Let's think about our multiplication for a second. Let's see. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. Which means I'm going to take this, I'm going to write a 36 right there. All right? So now that I've done that, we're going to jump over here to our 10s again. I have 5 10s, so it's 4 times 5 10s. If you remember what I said earlier, 10s has a 0. So I have to make sure that my answer has a 0 in it. Well, I know that 4 times 5 is 20. Right? I need to add another 0 because I multiplied it by 10, which means that 4 times 50 is 200. Right? When I add those together, 6 plus 0 is 6, 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus nothing, because there's nothing up there, is 2. So that means the product of 59 times 4 is 236. Jump over here now to 63 times 6, all right? I'm not going to write anything over here because at this point, we've done 3. We should know what it is, and we've done some in class. All right, so let's look at it. I'm going to do 6 times 3 because that's the first product. 6 times 3, I should know my 3s. It is 18, all right? So now I'm going to do 6 times 6, but once again, it's not just 6, it's 60 because that 6 is in the tens place. 6 times 6 is 36. There has to be a 0 in the end, so it needs to be 360. When I add those together, 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 0, because there's not anything there, is 3, which means that the product of 63 times 6 is 378. All right, so at this point, we've done 4 problems together. I think you all can do one by yourself. What I want you all to do is work on this problem. Get a sheet of paper, do partial products, solve this problem. When you get done solving this problem, I want you to go back to Google Classroom. There is a link to Google Forms, all right? On Google Forms, you're just going to tell me what the answer to the problem is. Once you've got that answer done, go to the second question. That second question is just basically a survey question. It's telling me how helpful you thought this video was. So if you thought it was very helpful, hit very helpful. If you didn't like this video at all, just let me know. Enjoy the rest of your NTI day, guys. Work super hard on your Learning Odyssey and your Prodigy.